to a Leona that can stand you in place not with 1, but with 3 of her spells.
Yeah. I agree with that. I'm also thinking Aurelia.
Also, Aurelia really loves it when you dive towards her because then she can cage all 4 of them in her ultimate and just dance around.
She's just a babysitter. It's just throwing you inside, you know, that nice little baby cage, keeping you nice and safe. It's all good.
I'm going to be honest. I think one of the biggest criticisms that we've had for MNM after their successful 4 wins that they've had is that the early to mid game has been very sloppy. It was one of their very strong fronts. When they were going into the game, we had Royal Cannon on the Vex, we have Canna on the Hecarim, playing this aggressive early to mid game, where they were chaining up their CCs, they were playing together. Yeah, that was thrown out the window. The early mid game, very sloppy. Even though MNM is trying to make plays, things are not going the way they want them to. And I think, as sad as it sounds, I think a lot of that pressure falls onto Royal Cannon's shoulders.
Yes.
Because he has been underperforming the last few games that we've seen him, especially onto the Vex.
Yeah.
And now playing a melee champion in the likes of Silas is going to be really hard to reach the backline. We're going to have to see how he plays later on in these fights.
I agree, because this is the guy who, alongside Canna with the Hecarim, that Vex Hecarim combo that nearly got the win against X7 in early weeks, we've not seen those highs again since. I mean, like, you called it out. MNM are now on a 5-game loss streak. They've gone from 4-3 to 4-8, and they have really slipped down the tables. They are, as of today, currently tied with Astralis, who we'd said who was struggling a while. And Royal Cannon, unfortunately, has been one of the pain points for this team, who has been struggling a bit. And we want to see, on a fresh champion, whether he can pull it up. Because at the minute, he is the lowest damage share of any mid laner in the league. Like, he is 10th in terms of damage share. And I want to see him on something like the Silas, with all these melee carries, with all the setup, to try and make something on this champion with so many good ultimates to steal work.
Yeah, also this is going to be really difficult, right? Because Aurelia loves playing melee one-on-one with you, especially when he has stacked her passive all the way to number 4. She just loves trading with you. And yes, even though Silas does have a bunch of sustain, especially with his W, the burst that's coming out from, and the sustain from an Aurelia is just really hard to withstand. This is why you see Royal Cannon, he's taking a little bit more of a defensive stance. You allow Sloggy to push through, and then you fall under the tower and farm there. Because the good thing is that Sloggy cannot necessarily harass you under tower.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to call it out as well. That's Michigan with a Hail of Blades on the Varus, so it might be a poke option, potentially. Could still just be the regular auto-attack build, but Hail of Blades is sometimes a precursor to a lethality build.
Here's the thing, right? I'm seeing Javan, Silas, Zinzao, and Gwen. I'm like, they're all diving in. They're all gonna go in as a death ball, 4 melees, find the pick, find the chains, find the flag and drag into the ultimate and just dive and kill someone. The one who stays behind is going to be, unfortunately, Mishigu. So if he does end up going for the lethality build, I think I pretty much like that, because the second you lock someone into the Cataclysm, it's just very easy to land in the poke, and then you also stay at arm's length when it comes to these team fights.
That's pretty reasonable, actually, and, you know, call it out as well. This is the airy build, of course, because it's a support Jarvan. It's pretty standard. You max out the standard, and you basically give a load of attack speed.
Yeah, Treats would be very happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. But Bista went in for a trade on the top side, and MC was just waiting. A little bit over-eager there. MC doesn't need to recall and just gets an easy first blood in top side. MC on AP junglers, man.
I mean, MC on AP junglers, man, ×2. I will back that one up.
I'd love to offer some more, but that is the statement. It holds true.
I will back that one up, but...
You got lovely last week. You went 5-1 on 40. Had a great time versus Nariki.
Right.
The other game was a little bit rougher, but he got the key Baron steal against Singularity that was in all the B-roll and all the show reels, so he's having a good couple of weeks.
All right, really quickly though, Bista has lost both of his summoners in the top side of the map.
Yes.
That means that he is very susceptible into getting ganked yet again. So he has to be very clever on how he plays his waves, not to pass that mid point in his lane, especially when MC is just about to clear his bot side of the map and could very well be heading towards the top side again. Now, you don't necessarily play towards a Zillion to get kills onto the Zillion, but if it's really easy for MC to grab kills there himself, especially since the immunity has been used for Bista, because the Gwen is very close to the minions. You have to get into the minion wave to be able to see S. So if you're playing around these bombs and you put down your immunity, yes, it's hard to play with Diana when the immunity is up, but when you put it down to get away from the harassment from the Zillion, then MC can find a pretty easy way in like he did on that first kill.
Yeah, so while you can't necessarily directly bomb her so easily, you have got options, and the slows as well to
This
trade
is
and
so
just
annoying,
do that.
man.
It's so frustrating. Yes, you can heal, but Zilean in lane can be very obnoxious, even if before we've got loads of AP to make those bombs truly hurt.
Also, look how dangerous it is the second Aurelia walks out of lane. The second Aurelia walks out of lane, even when Slowq is level 5, you have to respect. Bobista pushed 2 waves underneath Kek's tower, so he got a pretty free back right there, and now he's walking back to his lane. The pinks have been laid down that he's missing as well, so Kek will be shoving in that lane really quickly and probably taking it back for himself. Now, I'm wondering what... Perfect. So MC, he's got the alternator, and he also has another amplifying tome, and I'm wondering where he's going to choose to use his first level 6. His blue buff is going to be up and available. And I'm looking at that first level 6, because I'm like, level 6 on Slowq, perfect. He's got the pickaxe, a lot of damage coming out of that Aurelia. You're going to have the level 6 from MC coming in as well. And then my eyes go straight to that bot lane, because you mentioned it. Dr. Chaos on that Jarvan. Yes, it's a Jarvan, but it's a support Jarvan. It's going to be a squishy Jarvan.
Oh, yeah. And like that could be pretty dangerous, and the level 6 is not quite there
Here we
yet,
go.
but does go in. That's a flag and drag on very low mana, actually, from Dr. Chaos, but he does get out. But do they stick around? MC is still here, and there have been some summoners. I wonder whether that might give them a false sense of security.
They have very, very low mana from the side of MNM. Both Dr. Chaos and Mishigu have very low mana, and they really need to shove in that lane. This is why you see Kana, he's shouting them right now. It's something that probably Astralis should take a note here for when you need to push that wave.
Last game was not pretty.
You don't get stuck there. You call down your jungler, and they shadow you before you push in that wave, so you don't get punished, especially since Mishigu is so immobile on that Varus. So very well done right there from MNM. They'll be pushing wave into wave into wave. Serrated Dirk also purchase for the Varus, actually gives us the green light button that Mishigu is going to go towards that lethality, which we really like, because when you have champions that create so much space for you, especially when you have 4 melee champions moving forward and you stay at the back, you want to keep your opponents at arm's length.
And much like the old adages about things like Twisted Fate, the level 6 matters when someone like MC and Slowq hit those ultimate marks you called out earlier. It's in. We now need to see how that first Moonfall is used. I can see it being used mid to get Slowq rolling. I can see it being moved down towards that bot lane as you called out earlier. Currently, though, MC potentially continuing to clear towards the top side still.
I was about to say, I think my guess is going to go towards the bot side of the map, because Bobista is sitting there without any teleport, so you could potentially punish that if you so wish to do that, and then go for the Rift Herald. But MNM have been really quick on their rotations. They know MC wants to do that. They know he's playing towards the top side of the map. Nukes has also done the rotation of getting towards the mid side of the map, so they do know that MNM want to play for what else? Always the Rift Herald. Quick rotation, get your bot lane up the top side of the map, secure that Rift Herald, try to get a bunch of turret platings or whichever champion you want to. If you want Mishigu, because he's going to be the one that spikes the most in the early game since his lethality, give it to Mishigu. But securing that is very, very crucial. On the other side of the map, though, you have Fatih-chan, who's going to be taking a bunch of stuff for himself. Solo XP, solo gold, and a couple turret platings, which he shared with Nukes. That was really lovely.
What a nice friend. And, you know, he's got Crescendum there because chakrams means tower plates disappear.
That Leona protect.
Indeed.
Okay? So she needs some gold.
And I appreciate lore-wise, you've got the melding of sides here. It's the Lunari and the Solari all coming together to prove horrible, deadly combinations. You see? It's all there. Or the trade, of course, for that Herald, as you said, is the plates down bot alongside the first dragon, which MC solos out, and Slowq continue to do what Aurelia loves to do, which
trades with Aurelia, man.
Exactly.
Feels bad, man.
And I appreciate the fact that Royal Cannon has decided to go this Oblivion Orb.
Oh, they're looking for the dive, though.
Deal with a potential turnaround. Does steal the Moonfall, but it's into a Vanguard's edge. The tower shots making a turnaround. Lands him Scald of Duck, but he went back in with 2 low HP, and it is a 1-for-1. Make that which is fine. I nearly called it 2-for-1 because I forgot about First Blood topside.
Yeah, but this is worth for Royal Cannon when you've got 3 members diving you and you get 2 flashes and a kill for yourself. This is giga worth it for you. You also don't get to lose much in the mid lane because your jungler is most likely going to come and pick it up straight after that Scuttle Crab goes down. So good stuff from Royal Cannon right there. If I'm not wrong, I think he grabbed MC's ultimate right there. Yeah, he stole MC's ultimate, which means he locks him down underneath the tower for longer than MC wanted. And I think MC kind of walked into enemy territory all alone right there because Slowq was not ready to dive in. Nukes was a little bit on the side as well. So maybe communication was a little bit finicky right there for the side of Riddle. All in all, it's a 1-for-1 Royal Cannon. We take those.
You definitely do, and I appreciate the fact he got that final Kingslayer to just get the HP bar low enough to make sure that MC fell. Still, they do manage to delay a bit of a wave there. Canna did come in to pick it up, so of course, as you said, there was still someone around who was happy to secure the early farm, but it's still this Aurelia who's doing pretty well. Kekt continuing to be obnoxious with the shove in the top side. But as it stands, gold, yes, Riddle favored, but if MNM can manage to keep it at this kind of discrepancy, come to these mid-game fights when all of your members can start running in with the Jarvan setting everything up, you could blow up someone here pretty easily.
So here's the idea, right? I think whoever catches whoever off guard wins the fight. But if Kekt is around to save that member that's gonna be under attack for Riddle, then the fight can very easily get turned around. So for MNM, they have 4 melees. They've got the Flag and Drag Cataclysm into everyone bunching up on that member. If Kekt is there to save that member, it's pretty easy money for them. But Bobista is yet again...
Trying to turn it around, that is still the Chrono Shift to buy Bryce some time. And he will be okay. Gets out of double.
Snip, snip.
And
You've got no grievous wounds, which mean that this Gwen does heal when she snip.
She does, and I thought that was going to be it. I thought that was a beautiful combo, the 2v1, and Gwen does exactly that. The pure healing and gets through and gets out. MNM still hanging around this bot side, still got some plays to get through, and of course, the lethality Varus was an old school counter into Aphelios before he was nerfed into the ground, and still doing pretty well to keep this Aphelios at least pinned back under tower when they're in lane.
Yeah, absolutely. You do have the shove right there. You also have the Jarvan being absolutely obnoxious every time he pulled down the flag with the Airy. So the poke is right there, not just from the Varus, but also from the Jarvan. Helps along with the attack speed as well to push in that wave much faster. And because the Aphelios is stuck with a melee support, Kekt is under trouble, and he doesn't have ultimate, but he does have a flash.
He does indeed have himself a time warp and manages to do it again and get on out of there. You all know the dance moves, so I expect to see them in chat, and we'll all move on from that one as
Dance moves?
Let's do the time warp again. It's old school Rocky Horror. If you've never seen
Sorry, I'm too young. I can't.
Well, look, I'm too young for it. I still know it. It's like an old school disco move, like Macarena.
Sorry, disco 18.
I know, right?
19,
yeah, exactly.
right?
Doing your school dances. Like, was there no time warp? I'm disappointed. All right, well, that's a YouTube video.
We're dancing to Rihanna back then.
Fair. You know, actually,
Yeah.
I take that. So was I.
Yeah.
Badly, because my dancing...
Back in my day.
Back in my day. Umbrella, it was around and about...
True.
You know it. That probably ages me pretty heavily, but there you go.
Same.
I know, right? Suddenly the reality of life setting in here at the cast. We have got about a minute until this next dragon, which will be a Hex Dragon, and I'm going to move on from that slightly morbid train of thought.
All right, then. Let's take stock of what we've got. So, like you mentioned, less than a minute away is going to be the next dragon, which means a lot of these champions are going to be going back to base. They're going to be buying control wards. They're going to be finishing their items. They're going to be getting ready to fight. As you see in the inventory from the sort of Riddle, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 control wards ready to be used towards the bot side of the map. And basically, you want to start laying down your vision and laying down your dominance, if you will, onto that river side. Whoever walks in first has the pick of where they choose to put down their vision. The Scuttle Crab, of course, is going to be huge help for Riddle, but it's going to be going away pretty soon, so they won't have the luxury of using that to their advantage to get a vision. And now it's time for Riddle to try to face check to get into that river if they want to continue and stacking the dragons.
Critical thing here as well, Slow Q and Fadichan haven't managed to back to complete first mythics, so they are down that item. They're still going to trade in the mid lane, but everybody is here, and Kekt, taken so low, has to chrono shift himself. They'll just wait it out. No, they won't. They'll put it down
in the middle of nowhere.
Now they've got to try and find out whether they want to place. He flashes away, and that was not the best Crescent Guard I've ever seen. The Moonlight Vigil on the side will bind up a few, re-engage a potential option, but Royal Cannon with a clutch stopwatch prevents the Vanguard's edge from hitting. Riddle down a few key ultimates. In fact, 5 ultimates down, all of them for Riddle. I'm not sure they're in a position to fight for this dragon anymore.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? They took a big trade with MNM, but they do have double teleport. So the Aurelia has teleport if she wants to back right now. If Stalker wants to back right now and buy his item, he has a teleport to come back in. Kekt is already up and available, and almost halfway through that ultimate cooldown. It's not going to be the case, though, because they're engaging already.
Needlework, and there's a Cataclysm. It's going to be Aphelios that somehow picks it up anyway. He's got Calibrum and Crescendum. Has a lot of ways to trade this one out. Roll Cannon with the stolen Moonlight Vigil could maybe turn this one around. It's not the best I've ever seen get stunned in the world. And Fadichan secures a second. Riddle, without ultimates, still find the picks. They lose the dragon, but the double teleport comes in clutch.
Yeah, and one of them was not even used for slow queue, so it can very easily be used to pull out another play. You put him on a side lane against Bobista's Gwen, who doesn't have an item completed yet himself, and then you start snowballing the Irelia through that. They managed to push in the mid lane as well. So 2 items all in all going to the side of Riddle, and yet again, you see the fight right here. It's a 5 versus 5. There is no ultimate for Keks, and Nukes, I think he goes a little bit too deep. He zones Royal Cannon away, but you see that MC manages to get away on a sliver of health, and he does survive whilst the rest of the members of MNM are running away, except Royal Cannon, who decides to re-engage. That was a bit questionable.
If that was 2 items, that Moonfall might have done enough, but that is a 1 item Silas, who's not got boots, who's only on the Everfrost plus the Oblivion Orb. It's not the biggest damage Moonfall at this point. It kind of showed there. And Slowq, a player that potentially we've had some doubts about the performance in earlier levels, up a significant amount of CS. Second Herald started by MNM.
What did we mention? They're going to put Slowq on a side lane. His teleport's up and available. Blade of the Ruin completed. They might actually want to go for this fight. Their ultimates all over the sort of Riddle, but they're just a little bit too little, too late on that one. And it's actually Bobista who's going to be able to TP towards the bottom of the map after they secured the Rift Herald to try and contest and defend versus Slowq's wave.
They hold
that mid lane tower, though, if he falls down, it becomes a little bit difficult for Silas to push forward. Royal Cannon, of course, being a melee. Of course, Misigon, an immobile carry, sat as the Varus is very dangerous to move forward. And same for the Jarvan, right? The Jarvan is going for the Hourglass. It's going to be extremely squishy. Yes, you do have the stasis, but once the stasis is down, somebody's going to one-shot him. Bobista.
Oh, it takes a time.
How do you like that
slow down
throw?
forever. They're going to try and do it again, as they said. Keks takes a lot of damage. But calculates it well enough, and not being outplayed by the turret again. Did happen earlier on, remember, and they've not done it this time at least, and MNM get away with it.
They do, because the Zilean right now is not on the map, which means 1 member less on the map for the side of Riddle, which means that MNM get to split into 3 lanes and push them all at once. But Bobista doesn't end up burning anything, and he ends up staying alive. And every time Riddle has tried to pull a play onto Bobista, you see how difficult it is. Namera also said it on the desk. Once you put down the immunity, it's just so difficult. Somebody has to walk into it, and then you still have the extra defenses from the spell itself. So even though, yes, you do have a revival, wasting it like that, Keks almost died from that play, and they got nothing out of it.
Yeah, and they still lose that.
I mean, they did get a tower.
They did get the tower, so it's still not. It's still they get away with it, as we said. They don't die. They get the tower. They are starting to take control of this map, and this Irelia now with the big CS lead that's continuing to grow, not that far away from something like a Gore Drinker. You can see the Iron Spike whip in inventory is going to get to a point where she's pretty difficult to deal with. Gwen later on into the game can probably think about it, but that's a long way away. Yeah, I'm looking at 3 items through for the Gwen at that point.
Very important. What's not a long way away is in 1 minute and 30 seconds is going to be the next Dragon. And both of these teams want definitely to start stacking them up at this point, because it's going to be a juicy Infernal Soul. And which team does not want an Infernal Soul? Very important. Look at the inventories. 2 stopwatches available, 1 for Zilean and 1 for Diana for the side of Riddle. Proto Belt also available together with the Everfrost. A bunch of CC or movement items have been bought for the side of Riddle, as long as the Gale Force for Fatachan to get away from all these melees that want to stick with him. And Dr. Chaos,
he's in so much trouble. Does have the Zonyus completed though, and that buys time. Artificially made tankier, but it's not enough, and Fatachan secures it. The AP support, Jarvan, falls down for the second time this game, and they lose control. They've still got a lot of ultimates to play with as well, and they're just waiting.
You don't walk in there. You cannot walk in there. You need your Jarvan. Dr. Chaos is going to be your engage. The Flag and Dragon to the Cataclysm, locking someone in, and then piling up all the melees onto it. But Bobista walks through the jungle that doesn't belong to him.
He takes the Ignite, and that will be the Needlework popped as well. And they are going to still have to worry about how to deal with this, as MC probably will just head on straight over to the Dragon. It's 15 seconds away, and MNM not really in a position to contest as it stands. Just look at the vision control in the right jungle.
Somebody has to reply to Slowq's Irelia, because he's going to get hit another Dragon. But look at Royal Cannon, he's teeping on the flank.
Here we go. Slowq has the teleport, but he's now caught kind of an awkward position, but it means that Fatachan won't be around, as Canna's going to pop the Herald. Fatachan's going to have to stay in mid lane, and that might actually give MNM a better position than I anticipated coming in here.
Slowq is TPing in, and he's on the flank together with MC. MC has been spotted though, and Bobista is just waiting on a pink ward.
Oh, what a Gale Force keeps away from the engage. Nukes is going to get knocked up, but has a chrono shift to stay alive. Fatachan into the Cataclysm, flashes away. MC chunks Mishigu, but Mishigu is alive as well. Slow Q lands the Vanguard's edge, though, and in as the tip of the knife. Makes it a 1-for-1, not for long, as MC secures another. The Time Warp puts Royal Cannon pretty low. MC, low HP to boot. Slow
Can speed up the Aurelia.
And think about going in, could be sped up, but they'll back away. Babista has teleport, could rejoin. Dr. Chaos, Royal Cannon, can you stop this? You have no smite. MC should be able to secure this. Chain Lash comes through. There's
the tip is coming in. He's alone.
He's going to be alone. He's alone. He'll get a shield bash to the face. He's immune, but not for very long. In goes Royal Cannon, gets some damage back. Slow Q take it pretty low. It's a 1 minute, 2 minute 3 for none. 4 for none, a triple kill for Babista's Gwen. MNM prove us wrong on the desk.
Oh my god, that Everfrost from Royal Cannon murdered Riddle. They couldn't move at all, and they ate the entire damage coming in from Babista and Royal Cannon. And we're going to see this one more. Fatachan is trying to survive because he's been left all alone. Nukes tries to defend him, and he gets the Zillion ultimate as well. When you have to use your Zillion ultimate onto the Leona, something has gone terribly wrong. Then Kex has to walk back in. Fatachan ends up dying because the Zillion ultimate has been used on the support, and this support actually has no mana to be impactful right here. So right now we're like, Babista, what are you doing? You're TPing all in on your own, but look at Royal Cannon. Boom! Boom! Triple Everfrost as well, locking everyone in place. And Babista able to sustain through that with the immunity.
Baron.
So good.
That is a
and
20-minute
it also
Baron.
netted them a Baron at 21 minutes in. Riddle, you can take the Dragon. We'll take the bigger objective.
And 4-man needlework for Babista across that. The Everfrost you called out. What a turnaround from a team that, as we said, was on a 5-game losing streak from a mid laner, Royal Cannon, who had struggled to have impact in the last few weeks, who was down to yes, who got dived a few times and pulls off a play like that. I have never doubted this man's playmaking. He shows it up here when it was needed.
I hate Gwen. It's like, look at me. I'm TPing into 4 people.
Hang on.
No one can touch me.
We've had this conversation about your love of anime.
And they're
right up there.
They're showing us the Gwen as well. Thanks, observers.
There you go. I enjoy this champion, but mainly from the jungle.
Snip.
What can I say? It's just fun. I think the sound effects for those scissors are so satisfying. But hey, my love of SFX is not important right now. What is important is MNM, who have managed to secure themselves the Baron, have got themselves the gold back to even as a result of it, who are in a position now to really make Riddle sweat. What more can they get done with this? Because the game right now is still pretty even in gold.
So here's the thing. When you have this swing of vision, and the swing turns into your favor, only Nukes can face check right now. Yes, you have the Zillion to ult Nukes if he ends up dying, but whoever walks into face check, they're walking into 4 melees. They're walking into instant contact with a spear from the side of MNM. So they have to be extremely careful. This is why the Baron is so valuable to MNM, because they have 4 melees. They need to empty the map. They need to take control of the jungle and actually be the predators, not allow Riddle into their own jungle, having Nukes to face check. And if he does, then fine. You saw what happened when Kex had to ultimate Nukes.
Yeah, Nukes, yeah.
Fatachan just ended up dying.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll call it out as well. The result of those kills is that Babista slingshots ahead of Slow Q's itemization. The Aurelia that was unmatched and ahead in the side lane was so difficult.
Now it becomes tricky.
Now it gets trickier, exactly like when we said, well, maybe when she hits 3 items, well, maybe you just get an item ahead. That works just fine as well. They'll get more of this standing gold. They've got a gold lead for the first time in this game.
Zoomies.
And there's no Yumi. We don't have to mention that one as well.
That's Zoomies too, though.
I mean, I suppose... Fine. You know what? I'll count the sound effect. That's all right. You know what? The airy sound effects are close enough. I won't argue with that one. And Riddle on a defensive footing suddenly. Yes, you've got options as the game goes on.
They've gotten 2 towers so far. They've gotten mid lane tier 1, they've gotten top lane tier 1, and now they're threatening top lane tier 2. So 3 towers, 4 Baron. I think we take those. Okay, it's not going to be 3 towers, it's going to be 2 towers, but I think it's pretty worth it still, because opening up these tier 1s across the map does allow you to move a little bit further into the jungle, and especially when it comes to these objectives that they're trying to stack up, aka the Infernal Dragon that's coming up in 1 minute time, then it allows you to move a little bit further into the bot side jungle of MC, put down your vision, and this is where the flank teleports become very problematic, because now you can't leave Fatachan alone. You cannot afford to use your ultimate if you're Kex on anyone else other than your Aphelios, because your Aphelios is the most consistent damage together with your Aurelia. So your 2 targets is the Slow Q or Fatachan, which means that the rest have to play pixel perfect.
And honestly, like, and she never mind that, as Royal Cannon was looking for an engage, still got that solar flare going in. There's a solar flare onto Nukes, taken pretty low, but how deep is it? Oh, turn around with the Vanguard X, but can they stay alive? Slow Q to the backside onto Michigu, but can't secure the kill to 1-for-1 right now. Babista is still running rampant, has got the hallowed miss. Royal Cannon still alive. And everyone else gets out alive. It is the 1-for-1. Both supports fall.
Very important, very important. It's not a 4 versus 4 because Kex still has his ultimate available. He can technically bring someone up twice. It is technically a 4 versus 4 versus 5. No, a 4 versus 4.5. There you go.
And there you go.
There you go.
And that's the only ultimate available. Every other ultimate was burned in that skirmish.
Oh, look at Royal Cannon. He has TP. Royal Cannon has TP. Royal Cannon has TP. Where can he TP? Where is the flank TP? It's in the middle. They see it.
It's a long way away, and that means he's not going to be here particularly early. Flashes and steals it. It's now a 2-2 Dragon score, but he'll trade his life for it. And that teleport, not going to amount to much. Can Royal Cannon now extricate himself? Actually, he's pretty deep and by himself. Slow Q with minions. This Aurelia could dive forward, could look for it, did step forward, misses the flawless duet, and that will mean the Royal Cannon gets out without having to burn.
I think
anything.
if you're Kana here, you say worth it because you don't lose anything on the map. Yes, you give 1 kill away, but it's fine, it's worth it. You get that the second Infernal Dragon, 1 more for Salt Point for MNM, and this is literally toe-to-toe. You see, this is a 4 versus 4, but Royal Cannon is a little bit too far away, which makes it 3 versus 4, which means that MNM have to back off and allow Kana to try and steal it. Luckily for MNM, Kana does end up stealing the Dragon, equalizing the score on the Drakes to 2 versus 2. Gold, dead even. Dragons, dead even.
And that Baron brought the game back into the balance, but that's what it is in the balance. We have scales evenly matched. It is neck and neck in gold score, neck and neck in Dragons, neck and neck in turrets. Look at the gold differences there. It's pretty even across the board, aside from the top and bot laners. And Royal Cannon has pulled it back. He's doing really well. Yes, it was a bit difficult, and yes, he's down the CS, but the playmaking has been there, and that's what this player brings.
I think it's very important, especially since he's had a couple of underperforming weeks to come into a performance on the Sylas, on a melee champion versus these champions, which is so hard to play. 90% slow from the Zillion. You've got the Reviver there, you've got Aurelia ultimates, you've got the lockdown from the Leona, playing the Sylas to perfection, managed to get into the backline. The Everfrosts that he has been landing have been on point, and especially in combination with Bobista's Gwen. These guys are the reason why MNM has been keeping this game competitive so far.
Can they break the 5-game losing streak? A reminder, to reach playoffs as it stands, you're going to need at least 6 wins. The top 6 teams right now have 6 wins. If they lose every game, you could potentially get in at 6, but that is a hard ask. And there are 3 weeks left to play. MNM are 2 games short of the cutoff. As it stands, that's likely going to go up. They need this win, and Riddle, as one of those teams who are tied for 5th right now, yes, they got a 2-0 week last week, but it's not looked consistent. Their game versus Singularity was frankly shaky.
Yeah, I think Riddle has not yet convinced us on why they win games. Somebody has to pop off. And our question here, who is gonna pop off here? Because my eyes fall straight into Fatty-chan.
Oh yeah.
You're a 4, 1, and 3 Aphelios. Almost on these 3 items. He's most likely gonna need an Infinity Edge as well to be able to burn through Robista, to be able to burn through Kana, to be able to burn through Royal Cannon. But 3 items is gonna be good enough for the team fights to come for now.
And we said it in the last game, and we asked for Chrisberg to just get that 3rd item. Maybe play then, and they fought a little early. Both AD carries right now, waiting on that Lord Dom's regards, as you were calling out. And I think once Fatty-chan gets there, it's going to be a big break point. It's still got to be a little way to get there, but he's got about 1.5 minutes until the Dragon's up. Baron's alive, and maybe that could force the issue earlier, though.
You see how everyone is forfeiting mid lane waves
to
Fatty-chan right now. They're trying to get him on a 3-item power spike as fast as possible, and he's backing right now. He's most likely going to have his item up and available. 3-item Aphelios is going to be deadly. My question here is, what are we seeing from both teams in terms of invulnerability? We've got Hourglass on the side of Royal Cannon and Dr. Chaos onto that Javan. 2 targets that cannot die. On the other side, we have only 1 Hourglass, 4 MC, no other stopwatches. Of course, we need to wait and see. Maybe the Aurelia is back in right now. Slow Q might have a completed item back in base. But most importantly, what I'm saying is that there's just no room in their inventory for control wards. If you look on the side of MNM, they've got 2, 3, 4, 5 control wards. If you look on the side of Riddle, sell your damn Dorn's blade, Slowq. You need these control woods. You need to take control of that river. You've got 45 seconds.
Completely there with you. It just doesn't need to be there. I can maybe understand the Dark Seals being there. I understand that maybe that's an option for these people, but that Doran's blade is an error in my mind. I'm there with you. But all the same, they've still got control. They can still look for the engagement.
Oh, they're looking for it. They want Michigu.
Maybe it won't matter. They can't quite get onto Michigu. Summoners are up. Canna is the one person without a flash.
Look at Bobista.
Oh, you can see both of these teams.
He has sneaked behind. They're pinging him. They have seen him.
Can he stay alive? Has got the Hallowed Mist, but he's got to try and extricate himself. Skip and Slash is down. Fatachan, Gale forces forwards. Can't secure it. Another fight continuing into Nyx. And Royal Cannon going into the backside. Goes the damage, but that is a Chrono Shift to keep Gwen alive. She's dead though, and now the turnaround damage is massive. Fatachan with the 3 items complete can start making it where it's Canna and Michigu against the world. The autos, the Calibrum, the sniper shots are there. Can he land a final moonshot? He's sped up, and the red buff will do its work. They get the kills, they find the fight, and Babista can't end it. Michigu's around the back, and I think he's just going to die as well.
He wants him to.
Away. There's no flash, but there is that moonshot still, and it's just not going to be enough. He gets out alive, but everyone else in MNM falls.
This is very scary. You don't have smite. This is lethality Varus. He level skew. He could be very easy to steal the dragon because he does still have a bit of vision. Take the vision down. Take the vision down. Take the ward down. Thank you, Fatachan. Varus is still there. They're trying to get him. Kex on the back of the pit.
This is still stealable. Right, there is those smite. You've called it out. He's going to back away. He can't do it.
He's going to back off.
Too much zone control to get through, and Riddle secure themselves Soul Point and about 1,000 gold lead. They won that fight, but I got nervous for a second.
That was very chaotic because Bobista is flanking right there. And I'm like, this is the perfect fight for MNM because they can bundle them all up. But because they do, MC peels so well. The Aurelia ultimate going down. And at the end of the day, Fatachan is just free firing because no one can reach him. The Leona peel into the Zillion peel into the Aurelia ultimate, and no one could move from MNM. And at the end of the day, we said it. When it's all said and done, it's your hyper carries that are gonna say the last word. And Fatachan has said 11, 6 in kills and 5 in assists. Almost on his 4th item, which is going to be that Infinity Edge. He's gonna be shredding through these HP bars.
Oh, yes, he is. And if you've got 4 melee divers plus a long-range artillery sniper in Michigu, if you cannot blow up the Aphelios, your job has failed.
You have to reach him first.
Exactly. And you've got the tools. You do. But you need to reach him. You see what happens if you don't at this point in the game. Aurelia now at 3 items as well is a threat as you dive in. And this is a difficult position. The flash is down though now, so maybe they can make it happen. As Babista off to this side does get that turret in the bot lane, but Aurelia's going to match. Slowq will be there.
Slowq will be matching Bobista right now because she's the only one that can take the one-on-one versus Bobista.
Oh,
and MNM is actually going to pull the double TP towards the bottom of that. They're going to back Slowq!
He won't be able to stay alive. The stopwatch is here, the teleport coming. But will it be here before the Chrono Shift can get through? They'll manage to pull it away and Riddle rotate over, but that is the teleport bot. They hit the Gravita Moonlight Vision. Lolclips is there and Royal Cannon is in so much trouble. He's taken out. That's Hitchan. That was exquisite stuff.
Okay, I never expected to see so much action happening towards one Gwen that's pushing the bot lane wave so their team can actually do Baron on the other side of the map or even stop Riddle from doing Baron on the other side of the map. Slowq managed to survive an insane dive right there, and at the end, it's Royal Cannon losing his life. And all this time, it's Fatachan playing frontline. He gets the speed up, he walks in, he puts the Moonlight Vigil down with whatever gun he deems useful at that point, and he always ends up getting 1 kill. It's a 4v5, which means Riddle can do whatever the heck they want on the map, and the number one thing that they should be doing is putting down vision around the Baron. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to pull in the TP from Kex, if I'm not wrong, right? They Slowq actually, and
it's a 4v5.
MNM have to defend this. There's no TP on Royal Cannon. He's not going to be there. It's a 4 versus 5.
They're going to try their best. It's already going down. MC surely secured this. They've just locked up the Xin Zhao. There's no way in, but can they get out of dodge? Crescent Guard runs out. That will be the Chains of Corruption going wide. No way to root, no way to stop. Slowq gets the kill. Flash ball from MC. The Moonfall is here. here, and it's a double for Slow Q on the Aurelia.
And look at that huge wave following as well, which is all bound up. It has a cannon as well. They can actually choose to get that inhibitor mid lane tower. They can put their focus towards the top side of the map, where there's also another wave pushing, or they can even choose to end the game right here because it's 30 seconds on Michigu.
They've got to try and fight it out. They're going to stick around. Riddle are looking for MNM. What can you do? It is the Gwen who is the main source of damage. In goes Dr. Chaos. The stopwatch is there. It buys time. Fatichan resurrecting. Look at Gwen, gets MC, but Slowq draining out so much. Already taken one, and actually they're doing it. Fatichan can just about stay alive, though. A double for the Aphelios, and he comes in and cleans house.
200 freaking years have we waited for Fatichan and all the collective experience of this damn champion to come online, and he actually has in this game.
He's not done.
Blowing
He's
up
gone
another
in
one,
this game.
and blowing up another one,
Days.
and blowing up another one, and Riddle, at the end of the day, they're gonna blow up MNM's Nexus.
Absolutely incredible stuff. It got close at the end, but Riddle pull it together. Baron aside, they managed to pick up the win and move to 7 and 6. MNM now on a 6-game loss streak. Still holding on as a nice little flash at the end.
Well, okay, let's say there is a fight between